Fairly new to Valheim or just need a brush up on some of the console commands you can use? Then here is a video for you. Make sure you like if you find it useful, and let's go through the most important commands and how to really use them. So first things first, you actually need to enable cheats. Click Valheim, right click and go to properties. Under general, on this tab here, put a minus sign and then console. Exit out and then just start your game, and that's it, you've enabled cheats. Then once you're in game, you have to then go and press F5 and type in dev commands. This will then pull up even more cheats. If you see the word true, that means it's enabled. If you see it false, that means the cheats are not enabled. The easiest command to use is debug mode. Type this in and you can simply use the keys to switch off creative building, make yourself fly or kill all enemies around you. Press the K button to go ahead and kill the enemies, or without dev mode on, then simply type kill all. Press the B button to toggle on or off no cost, or go ahead and type no cost to have unlimited building. Press Z to fly, or type fly itself. While you're flying, use WASD to go whatever direction, hold the shift button and that will make you go faster. If you're using a controller, it should be L1 or LB. You press the L key while in debug mode, you remove any items that have been placed on the floor, or you can type in remove drops and get rid of it that way out of debug mode. Once be invincible, then type in God and take no damage. To turn off the debug mode, just simply type debug again, or press tab and you can actually scroll through and find all the previous commands you've used. You just keep pressing tab to cycle through them. And that's how you can use a lot of commands. If you type in help, it'll give you the full list, or at least some of the most important ones, and whenever you start typing something, the autofill bar should pop up too. This will help reduce you having to have something else open to check that command again. As long as you know roughly what it might contain, like health mead or something like that, you can spawn in all sorts of items just by pressing the tab button after putting in one word. It will give any options on that line and then you just simply cycle through any of them. If you want to increase your skills, you can go ahead and put any number on them. To do so, raise skill, leave a space and then type what it is you want to raise your skill. So like blood magic is the new one, then type in the level that you want. Generally you won't go above the skill level unless you've got some other kind of mod enabled. You might not use the next one as much, but you can lower your skills as well. So type in reset skill and then leave a space, type in the skill, leave a space, type in the number, and you'll actually lower or reduce your skills. And it's literally how you think it is. Skills are run, clubs, bow, swim, knives, sneak, blocking, unarmed, axes, pickaxes, jump, swords, spears, polearms, woodcutting, fishing, blood magic, elemental magic, and of course crossbows. If you've been testing maybe potions or damage effects from monsters, you can get rid of any of them bonuses, buffs or debuffs. So for instance, your stamina, lingering potion, or maybe being wet, just type in clear status and it will do the job. If you type add status and the status effect, you can give yourself one as well for more testing or buffs. If you want to get rid of the foods that you've eaten so you can eat some new ones, maybe change up your build, then simply type in puke. You can even change the weather. Type in ENV, leave a space and then tab again, and you can go through everything you need to know about the weathers. You can make everything cloud over as if you're fighting bowmass. For cinematics and special shots, who doesn't like a bit of green rain? If you want to get rid of it, just type in reset envy and eventually it should start to clear up. You can also speed through the night time by typing in Todd, leave a space, then 0.4. If you do Todd 0 or Todd 1, that will simply put it to midnight. Todd 0.5 will be midday. And if you want to go back to the default, put Todd -1. Obviously make sure you got a space. Bit of an odd one is time scale. You can speed around super quick and it will just literally speed the game up. But more importantly, you can use it to also slow stuff down to maybe get some nice screenshots. Type in time scale 0.1 and you'll get pretty much one of the slowest speeds you can get to get that all important shot of a creature or you doing something. To reset, put timescale space 1. Put the number to 100 and you'll zip around super fast. You can also skip a day if you just want to get through the night or quicken up some fermenting. You can type skip time. So 2400 should usually skip at least a day or so. Particularly good for farmers that want to make sure their crops are going to grow, or like I said, if you're fermenting a lot of stuff and just want it done. Of course, the most obvious answer though is to spawn them items instead. Some of the commands are pretty short and obvious, others not so much. Type in health and you'll be greeted with a whole bunch of different stuff to do with the health of rocks and more.
So you'll have to experiment a bit with this one, but if there is an item, chances are its in-game ID is exactly the same as it is in the world. Except things like potions, where it's usually called mead, and then you've got base mead, which will be the ones that you've got to process yourself, or just mead on its own, and then health, and then that will be a full potion. I'm obviously not going to go and list the hundreds of items that are in Valheim. You can experiment and mess around with yourself. It also works with just letters as well. If you type in spawn, leave a space, and then just a letter, it'll come up with any of that combination of them letters. So yeah, give it a shot and see what you can spawn in. If you really don't like cheating but you desperately want to get your gear back, how about a bit of a challenge? How about giving yourself an item set so you can go and try and get your gear back at least once or twice before putting on God mode and fly? That's what the item set command does. Type in item set, leave a space, then put in the relevant biome. Meadows, black forest, swamps, mountains, plains, plains boss, mistlands, mistlands gear, mistlands mage, fisherman. You get the idea. This will give you the appropriate gear as well as food and the right level so that you can hopefully try and get some of your stuff back. Typing in meadows and you'll get basically a wooden set as well as some accompanying food to hopefully get you to your stuff, or for whatever other reason. Maybe you're just making a tournament, an arena, maybe PvP with you and your pals, or you just want some challenges and you want more gear. I particularly like the Mistlands set. If you've took a bit of time away from Valheim and maybe you haven't actually even got to the point where you'd be taking a look at the Mistlands but you really want to explore the new biome, then using the Mistlands command actually gives you all the gear up to Mistlands that you'll need to basically explore for the first time. So get a good choice of weapons, obviously armours and some of the best food in Valheim before the Mistlands was added. If you type in items set, leave a space, Mistlands gear, then you'll actually get a full set of the Mistlands gear to hopefully go and explore. If your items are already full, then it drops it in a gravestone for you. Cool feature this, it actually swaps out everything you're wearing as well. So if this is perfect for building an arena where you put in loot in chests or stuff, you can actually have players just go and take it from the gravestones and it's quick and easy to put some gear somewhere. Just be careful of the skills being leveled as well. As I said, it does level up your skills. So if you spawn in the Mistlands gear, you'll be immediately put up to level 70 for all of your different skills. You might really care about your progression and you might not want to ruin the level building that you've been doing by accidentally spawning in a much higher level one just to test it. So make sure you've got a different character when you do this. And then finally, some quality of life stuff. If you haven't got ages or you're desperately trying to get some locks to be tamed or wolves, then go ahead and just type in tame and it will tame all nearby creatures. Do remember though that the first set of them, they do have to actually be adult creatures, not baby ones. And of course there aren't any baby creatures naturally in the game until you start breeding them. But worth pointing out, if you've spawned in some chickens, some boar, and then you want them to be tamed, then yeah, you've got to make sure that they're actually fully grown. Otherwise it just won't work. That's why my boars went and killed all of my baby chickens here, as they weren't fully grown yet. And likewise, if you've spawned in wolf cubs, then the same thing again, they'll be killed by any of the other creatures. One of the brand new ones they've added recently is to summon players to wherever you are. So if you're playing on single player or on a server, you should be able to summon all players towards you. Just type in recall and it will summon all players to you. If you want individual players like I just showed you, then you simply type in recall, leave a space and type in the player's in-game name or Steam ID. Now one that needs a more dedicated video is events. You can actually spawn or trigger whatever style event you want to test your defences, maybe have some fun in a multiplayer map with your friends or just challenge yourself. I'm going to save most of this for a special video taking a look at all the different types of events, but effectively all you do is type event, leave a space and then type in the name. So for this one, it's event, leave a space, army_Jarl. Some of the other events are just literally the creature's name. So event, leave a space, blobs. And if you want to stop the event, you type in stop event, all one word. Rules about events will still apply. So if you're not able to have an event spawn in a certain biome, regardless of how many bosses or what creatures you defeated, you still won't be able to summon that event in that biome. Likewise, if you don't have enough structures in a place or you haven't defeated certain creatures, then it will stop it. And that's the way events work. So like I said, it does need a much more detailed guide.
You can tab through all the different types of events, but do remember that some of them won't actually appear if you just type in event. They will have to have the event, leave a space, and then start typing army. That should show up any of the ones with army in them. You can also do just random event and it will spawn a random event. Getting a bit sick of your appearance? Well, there's no vanity bench yet added to Valheim, so for now you can use 2 commands to change your beard style or your hairstyle. You can't change the colour, but you can do this, and you can even go ahead and change your body shape. Now this one gave me a bit of trouble, so I reckon a lot of you guys might also be having issues, as there does require a bit of a lowercase or uppercase. Most of the commands don't need it, but for this one you do have to pay attention. So to change your hair, type in the word hair, and then go ahead and leave a space, then type in hair again, but this time with a capital H and then a number after it. So the first hair, no uppercase. The second hair, make sure the H is a capital. Also make sure there's no spaces in between the hair and the number. Or again, use tab to go ahead and scroll through whatever one you want. It's exactly the same for beard. Make sure the first beard word has a lowercase b and then the second one is a uppercase B. You can go ahead and mix and match and change up your beard style. If you type in just a hair command on its own or beard command on its own, you'll basically make yourself go bald and clean shaven. Change your body style, just type in model, leave a space 0 or model, leave a space 1. And there you go, that's pretty much it. That's how you use commands and cheats and some of the most essential, useful ones for 2023. Check out the link that I'll leave in the pinned comments for more, and look out for more individual videos explaining some things like the events and more incoming. Until next time, rat bags, laters.